Hello, everyone. Come on in. I'm just letting people in from the waiting room. I see Kelly. I see Donna. Oh, I see Marlena. Oh my gosh, Laura, Ashley. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. I love getting to see some of my beautiful clients and community. I love seeing some new faces here. I love seeing we've got Mitchell Haber in the house. I got to tell you, I get so excited when men join us on these calls too. And that's really the intention for this is like, I just want this to be open to everyone to come in and get their questions answered, get the support they're looking for. So I just want to welcome all of you. Give us just a minute. We're going to let people in here. All right. Great. We've got Laura in the house. And if you can, I know everyone has a lot of things going on. If you can be on camera, I love seeing you. It makes it so much easier and just more fun to interact. If you can't, I totally get it. And that's okay too. So, oh, it's so good to see many of you. All right. I don't know if I welcomed everyone, but if you are here, I'm so glad that you're here. I got to make sure that I'm admitting people as well. I want to have as much time as possible for live coaching with anyone who desires it. Today, I want to just start off with the intention for today and a little bit of what to expect, and then we will dive into coaching for anyone who desires it. By the way, is my audio okay? Can you all hear me okay? Okay, good, good, good. Thank you. Oh my gosh. All right. So the intention for today, those of you who know me, who work with me as a client or know me in another capacity, probably know that I tend to work pretty intuitively around what my clients need, around what the community needs. And I think it was, I don't know, Laura, I messaged you about this maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago. I was like, I just feel like this download that we need to do this thing called the She Sells Sales Strategy Session, which if She Sells wasn't enough of a tongue twister, I mean, I don't know if any, I think that's the one time I'll pronounce this today and then we'll just keep it moving. But I just was really feeling intuitively like the community could benefit from this. And I'll say first and foremost, change is the only constant. So as I say this, we want to remember that things are always changing. I know right now people are feeling a lot of change, potentially uncertainty around job climate, career climate, business, economics. And I just want to say I'm a big believer in we create our own economy, we create our own reality. And I also completely get that and feel that there is a craving for maybe some clarity, some direction, some peace of mind, maybe a feeling of greater certainty in your next steps towards your goals. And so I just want to even ask, as I'm talking here, I'd love for you to type in the chat. What is your goal? What is your intention for today? Why are you here? Um, we announced this, I think, a couple days ago. And for those of you who, you're taking the time out of your day on a Friday to come join, I want to support you. We want to be here for you as well. So share, what is your intention? What are you looking to get out of this time together? Because I really want to honor that. And I'm going to keep just sharing a bit of my intention while you do that, but then I'll pause and read what everyone shares. And I will just say my heart in working with my clients and in the work that I do is I love facilitating transformation. And it's so fun to see a lot of clients here. And it's so fun too, like I said, to see a lot of new faces here as well, to see the men who are joining us today. All are welcome. We are so, so glad to have you. And just excited. And if you're not familiar with me yet, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about myself today because today is about you. I am the founder and CEO of a company called She Sells. My primary work right now exists around helping women learn how to master sales in a way that feels really good to them, make way more money, and create their dream lives and careers. I also work quite a bit with men as private clients too, and we are launching some new programs later this year to support the greater community as well. So stay tuned for that. But I've got a strong corporate sales background. I've been honored to be recognized as a 2 times Salesforce top sales influencer, and I want to tee this up for how I work with you all today. I have found in my own life the best results in sales and career have come from a very heavy foundation in mindset work and energy work. So we're going to weave that in for anyone who receives coaching today as well. So just know, like, that's part of how I work with clients. And that's really my intention here today, is simply to offer laser coaching for those of you who want it. I want to hear about your goal, your vision, whether it's for this year, whether it's for this month, whether it's the big goal and vision that you're like, this feels like it may or may not even be possible in my lifetime, but here it is. And I want some support around it. So I want to hear about that and then work with you to hopefully get you some clarity, some direction, and some support around that too. I want to take a moment before we dive into coaching to introduce my co-facilitator today. We've got Laura Grabavoy here. Laura is incredible. She is actually our VP of Business Development for She Sells. We're so honored to have her here in the community. She has been a client turned into a team member, and she's one of my favorite people on the planet. She's also a sales powerhouse, really incredible corporate banking background. Laura, do you want to take a moment and just say hi and introduce yourself and share anything else I may have left off about who you are and how fabulous you are? I love having you, and I'm excited you're here today.
I just love it. Thank you so much, Elise. Yes, Laura Grabavoy. I've been in corporate sales for about 30 years. I've led and managed sales teams and high producing sales teams to win awards, as well as myself. I'm a background in personal sales, working with high net worth clients and winning multiple awards as well on the corporate side. So I'm so excited to be a co-facilitator. I've learned even in my background, what I love about She Sells is the mindset and the work that's behind who you are, who you're being as a person, right, every day, and bringing in those sales. It's been life-changing, and I'm excited to be able to co-facilitate and share as well. So nice to meet every one of you.
Yes, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah. And Laura she'll be jumping in. I'll be leading the coaching, but then I've asked Laura that if she has something to add or wants to jump in as well. She's got such an incredible background, both on the corporate side, and then I think she's an incredible entrepreneurial spirit as well. And so she's just very, very talented. And so I wanted to have her jump in with anything she wanted to add. So she may jump in and have a few things to add for those of you who are receiving coaching. By the way, Julie, hello. So good to see you. Kirsten, Christine, just so glad to have everybody here today. I may not get to welcome everyone as you come in, but I just want to say I'm so thrilled to have you. So with all of that being said, I'll also just say upfront, there's nothing for sale here today. This isn't like some webinar with a big sales pitch at the end. I will say, because I know some of you may need to leave at certain times, the only thing that we're going to invite you to do today, if you feel called, is you're always welcome to book a call with us. If you desire to talk through your vision, your goals for the year, and explore how we can help support you, I will pop that link in the chat. That is it. That's what we got for you today. And aside from that, we want to support you. We want to spend time with you. So the way today is going to go is, if you would like to receive coaching, those of you who are active clients, you kind of know how this rolls. I just want you're actually just going to raise your hand today. So raise your hand here, the Zoom hand, not the real hand. I can't keep track of everybody's real hands raised, but raise your Zoom hand. And it's just laser coaching. So I'll have you come in, share what you're like, who you are, what you're working on, what your goal is, what questions or challenges you're bumping up against. I'm very, very open to however I can best support you. If you have a question on sales, business, mindset, we're here for it. So I will say I'm going to gauge how long we spend with everyone based on how many hands are raised. So it's helpful if you think you're going to want coaching, or if you're like, that feels stretchy and I don't know, and I normally don't speak up, but you know what? Part of my quantum leap is getting visible and receiving support. Raise your hand. Let's get you coached up. And that's what we're here for. So I'm just going to invite whoever desires some support, go ahead and raise your hand. Thank you, Leslie, for leading the way. I love it. Leslie's one of our incredible 50K clubbers. And Leslie, show them how it's done. Let's work together, and everyone else who's here would love to give you some support. So go ahead and raise your hand as well if you want to receive some coaching. But Leslie, it is so good to have you here today. You want to just tell everyone who you are?
Thanks for doing this. Yeah, I'm Leslie
yeah.
Thornton. I run a company called Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss. So we help people stop the mental obsession with food, body, and weight through hypnosis. And Elise is my coach, and she's great. So you should book the free call with her for sure. If that's resonating with you. Thanks for doing this today, Elise. Thanks, Laura, for being here as well. Just thinking about sales for the Eat, Pray, Body Love, the travel to Portugal trip in July. Since the coaching you gave me in the 50 or 10K club, whatever, this past week, I feel like I am closing the gap. I feel like I'm sensing the it's already right there, and all I have to do is just shift the focus, and it can actually be easy. And I have a brochure that your community gave me some nice feedback on in the Facebook group. So we've been looking at that. It just feels nice, and I just feel like more excitement around just the sharing of the beauty and the experience and calling the people in. Awesome. We did the webinar. And so we have we've utilized some of the recordings from that as well to kind of, and then my intention, based on our conversation we had and how I've sold things like this in the past, is just to kind of keep meditating on it and daily just kind of feel into and reach out and kind of trust that whoever is meant to come is meant to come. And I'm just open to receiving some more coaching and inspiration for, how I can share this amazing trip with people who, are looking for this soul expanding journey and increase their love for themselves at the same time through coaching as well. And I don't know, just anything else that I can do that could be great to sell this baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the target, and I'm going to work with Leslie a little bit specifically here because I know some of what's going on with her because I've been working with her previously. So for anyone else who receives coaching, I may need to go deeper into some context of what's going on for you. But Leslie, is the target 15 women? Is that right? Who you went on this trip with you?
To be honest, Elise, I don't have that in my mind as a target anymore. I know we talked about that. Maybe that's where I sit down or whatever.
Leslie, I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing you. I don't know if you can adjust the phone a little bit. Let's see. Okay, was that just on my end, or did everyone else have a little bit of a hard time? I want to okay, let's see here.
She's locked up.
Yeah. Try a little bit more. If not, I may see if you can go where you can get on a better Wi-Fi network and then hop back in, but try one more time. Okay. I tell you what, this is how Wi-Fi works sometimes. So Leslie, if you can hear me, I am going to move on to someone else, and please get back in line. I want to work with you and help you out with what is going on here. So
probably was my headphones. How's this now?
That's so much better. Awesome. Can you hear?
Zoom is just catching up very slowly for me. I think we're back on now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Oh my God. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay. So yes, I didn't hear anything you said. If you said anything, can you hear me better now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful.
So your goal, so you were speaking about your goal for how many women have joined you?
I need 3 people to come to pay for me to go. And if that happens, I'm satisfied.
Okay, beautiful. And tell me, so far you did the webinar, what sort of interest are you getting? What sort of engagement? Do we have anyone who's in the pipeline for it? Where does it stand right now?
It stands right now in my body from doing retreats in the past. I know now that it's going to happen, and I'm at that point. Does that make sense of it's on and we don't know who it is. Okay. So the webinar I had a client who said she was very interested, but she was already going on a couple trips. Had another client who said she was interested, but likes to travel a little bit more budget than that. But I haven't really broadcasted around past just doing the webinar. I haven't really started to there's been a few connections I made from the event that I went to in Phoenix last week that I sent out the brochure to and just said, do you know anyone who could be interested in this?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's as far as I've gotten. And I
Okay.
haven't heard anything back from those people I emailed.
Got it. Now, in terms of where your primary audience is, I know we talked about the podcast this week. So you've got the podcast. Have you talked
Yeah.
about it on the podcast a lot yet?
Not because we just talked about that this week, but I am present to that and would like to make that more of the thing. We also have our like text messages that go out to all of our podcast listeners. So weaving that into the content we share on text message. And what else? We talked about podcasts. Yeah, emails, sending out some emails on travel specifically, giving some value that way. Just tips for how to travel and not be obsessed with your weight and food.
Okay. Got it. Keep going.
And then I'm just like, I'm just overall just making connections with people that are more of like a higher vibration than what I'm used to connecting with, and like being of service and being on podcasts and kind of trusting just the higher energy, and like just have intentions of these like names in the background of who I can just keep as inspiration comes in, share this with and see.
Yes. Okay. And the trip is July.
Yes.
Is that right? What day in July?
The 6th through the 12th, I believe.
6th through the 12th. Okay. Got it.
12th through 16th.
So I think the biggest thing that's showing up right now for you, Leslie, is just that like laser focus, right? And this is, I think it's a bit of integrating the masculine with the feminine energy in terms of how you're going about your current goals, because I know you're looking to bring on higher end private clients, as well as it's like at least these 3 women for the trip with you, right? So I would be daily in the vision, seeing kind of, you've got a little bit of both going on right now, right? You've got like the shorter term is getting this trip booked. A bit of the longer term possibly is bringing on these additional private clients. I think again, being unattached to the how, one could very easily lead into the next, right? Someone books a trip with you to Portugal, and then from there, they end up purchasing a longer retainer package as well. So we stay unattached to the how of how that's meant to be.
And I guess that's also a question that would help me with the laser focus of like, because I am present to both,
Yeah.
Of like, do you recommend one comes first before the other, or?
I was just feeling that for you. How does it feel to think about promoting both at the same time? Like when I think about that feels a little convoluted to me, or does that feel manageable and feasible to you?
I agree. Convoluted. I'm wondering if it's better to like say I'm looking for the one-on-ones and book calls for that, and then if the trip, I don't know, or if you think the trip is.
This is my feeling. Portugal is time sensitive, right?
Yeah.
That's coming up. That's coming up in a couple months, less than that. So if it were me, I would be all in. It's like, it's 3 people, right? I would just be all in on, let's get this trip filled. Let's laser focus around that. Books that like just offer calls with people. I would be doing a bunch of direct outreach. I would be really in all of my marketing right now. I'd just be focusing on that and promoting that. Holding that intent, and you're going to do it with the feminine energy of like, I'm going to set this down when this feels heavy, right? But I'm going to also come in with an intensity every day into my work of, I see this trip filled. I see this trip filled. I see this trip filled. And if it's 3 that feels best for you right now, do that. If it's closer to I think we talked about closer to 10 women as well, like hold the intention that feels most expansive for you with it. I think if you come in with laser focus, because I know you've also had a lot going on, but if you just laser focus this right now and say all of my messaging is about this trip, I'm inviting people to a call with me about the trip. So I'd be doing that. And then on that call, it's like, if you're talking to somebody, maybe they can't make it in time, like maybe for whatever reason, because the trip takes someone's availability. It's a very specific thing, but you can always move into more of a private coaching conversation from that call. So I think outward, and plus just for those of you who are here on camera, like how sexy and exciting is a Portugal trip, to go on. Like that's like, I want to hear about Portugal in your marketing. I want to
Mhm.
talk to you about it. So I think just lasering in on that, and then you'd have the opportunity to shift into, and it's not a downsell into private coaching, but an alternative product if they can't make Portugal work. I would do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it. We're going horseback riding on the beach, 4x4s. We're doing authentic. We're doing
Yes.
Michelin star. It's gonna
Super
be
juicy. Yes. And did you air the webinar you did on your podcast yet as an episode?
Oh no, I haven't done. That's a good idea.
Do that. Repurpose it.
I love that idea.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Repurpose it and do a call to action. Do like maybe a separate intro, just talking about it. Do a call to action of how people
Okay.
can either register directly or book a call with you about it. So
Nice.
yeah, do that.
Fun. Thank you.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome. You're so welcome. Okay, I'm just going to go in the order that I see people's hands raised. And by the way, I did see, Laura, you had a great suggestion in the chat of having everyone introduce yourself and what kind of sales you do or what sort of business you're in. So I'm going to have everyone, for the sake of time right now, do that in the chat. I think that's a great idea. But then I'm going to keep working with people who have their hands raised. So I'm just going in the order I see. Donna, I see your hand raised. Let's have you come off mute. And if you can just introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and what your question is.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I am Donna. I am a certified coach through the International Coaching Federation. I hold my PCC. I launched my company Atra back in 2019. And in the beginning, I'm kind of moving into my question.
Yeah.
I really hit the ground running and was intense and very successful. But my kids left for college, and I had a story in my head that I needed to fill my time, and I was moving and getting married and like all these changes. And my concern was that I needed to fill that time with something a little bit more structured. So I had my own space. And I stepped away from Atra. I just sort of maintained it, and I integrated a actual job that I think I was 27 the last time I held a job per se, as opposed to owning my own stuff. Anyway, it was not a great choice for me. And so here I am wanting to step back into Atra at a full level. It's scary. Like I have no more money coming in predictably. And I just am curious what advice you might have. Currently what I'm doing is leaning heavy into networking. So I'm a part of a group called Boss Evolution. Went back to their meetings, chamber member, went back to that, doing a lot of one-on-ones. I was able to book a couple speaking engagements, kind of putting that out there. Not paid, but doesn't matter, right? Just get my voice out there. But I am probably struggling I am struggling a little bit with that fear-based scarcity mindset of this needs to happen sooner than later. And typically I'd sit more in a space of trust, but I'm finding I feel like I don't have the time right now to totally just trust the process. So anyway, that's what I've got for you. What thoughts do you have?
Sure. Okay, beautiful. So I want to work with you a little bit on your language. How much, if you're a certified coach, like how much have you worked on conscious language around what you're creating and around the results you're looking to call in? Is that something that you work on like with your own clients, or is that less of your area of focus and study?
So my focus primarily has been working with businesses and their directors and their C staff. I focus on communication, active listening. I'm a meditation and mindfulness instructor. So I kind of incorporate a piece of that. That's not my primary offering, but it usually comes into what we talk about. But primarily my focus is on building relationships and communication.
Awesome.
And originally I used to only market myself as a business strategist, executive coach, mindfully guiding leaders and entrepreneurs to the next level in both business and life. That's really what I'm stating. But what I found is that when I said it that way, I was excluding people because people don't always consider themselves a leader, or they may not be entrepreneurial, or they might not quite be an executive. And I'm not sure that matters.
Okay, got it. So I think there's probably two different things that I would want to work on with you. So one would be just around money mindset and wealth consciousness. So for time today, we don't have time for like a super deep dive, but Donna, I would immerse yourself in some wealth consciousness books, whether it's Think and Grow Rich, whether it's Science of Getting Rich, maybe like if have you read You're a Badass at Making Money, or what is it? You're a Badass at. So I think it's one of the things that's always helped me in those seasons of my life is like going back and remembering how money works energetically. And it's a reconditioning of the neural pathways. I would also be doing, if you are a Joe Dispenza follower / fan, his Generating Abundance meditation, I think is fabulous for just helping you feel like you resonate with a higher level of abundance, because we're not going to get super deep into it for today, but from an energy standpoint, you can call in money in all sorts of different ways, just from cultivating that feeling of abundance within your body. So we want to help you feel safe in this transition. We want to help you not make money source, right? So we want to help you really, really, this is a beautiful period where you're going to get to practice cultivating abundance from the inside out and reconditioning some of that wealth mindset. I've been in periods like you're in right now, and it's been some of the biggest growth. It's also one of the, usually before way more money comes in, there's often a period where there's a bit of a lull as well, because it's like you're at the outset of the big up level that's coming for you with this transition. But we just want to help you really, I think, anchor in energetically to how money works, and have some more peace of mind there. So I would be very deliberately reading wealth consciousness books, listening to those, like nothing that puts doubt or fear or any sort of lack of faith in your mind, like shut off. I remember when the last time I felt like I was in like, scarcity type of mode, I just made what felt like a massive investment that I didn't have the money for working with a specific woman. And I found that some books I was reading that were like good books, but they were about budgeting. And it was like, it would put me right into scarcity, and I shut it off. I was like, nope, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm not going to, like, my mind is too precious right now. I'm following my intuition here, but my mind is too precious to put anything in my mind that's going to make me doubt or question myself. So anything, you need to block off blinders right now for you, Donna, and really immerse yourself in wealth consciousness material. Outside of that, from a strategic standpoint, who is your target market with this? I know you said leaders, but then you said that felt like that might exclude people. So like who is the target that you really want to serve and help with your coaching here?
I think that's the biggest challenge that I have right now. Prior to where I'm at now, I would have said C-level directors, entrepreneurs, leaders, anyone in that space. But I am feeling like maybe, like I said, maybe I need to shift that a little bit and say not so much that it's a particular person or a group, but it's anyone looking to up level their communication. Or specifically, I'm passionate about the DISC. I'm a DISC instructor. Okay. And so like recently I went to a bridal expo and I put together this little card, and it's, called More Than a Date Night, because the conversation is the relationship. And I was offering 2 different discs, integrating it for intercommunication and spending 90 minutes together. That was kind of my step towards opening it. Right. Okay. But I don't have a great answer.
Okay, got it. So that's going to be the first step. And so the way that you're going to do this and bring in more money faster, like bring in the most money fastest, is to be really specific right now in serving one very specific audience. Okay. It's, I don't know how much you've like studied branding and building a reputation in a brand, but I would always aim to become the biggest fish in the smallest pond as quickly as possible. And then from there, I can jump into the next biggest pond. Because right now, if you go out to market and you're like, I'm a communications expert for anyone who wants to improve their communications, it's so vague, you're not going to get any traction. So I would choose one industry. And you don't have to stay there forever, but I would choose something very specific to start so that you can start to build brand and reputation. Usually it's going to be something where you've got some, I would say, my friend Rory talks about like you're most powerfully positioned to serve who you used to be. So you can look back, and Rory Vaden, I'll give him full name credit for that, but you can kind of look back at your life and say, okay, either is there like a version of me that was struggling with XYZ thing that I can actually like really connect to and serve in my marketing. Like that's kind of what I do, because I was a woman in sales and in corporate, and then later as an entrepreneur who struggled, well, outwardly was successful, but was also struggling quite a bit inwardly with self-doubt, with lack of wealth consciousness, with the way I felt like I had to sell, didn't feel aligned, et cetera. So I for me, that was an easy positioning. So you could look to, who was I? Who have I been in my life? And how could I serve them? And, or you could tap into where do you just have experience, like just with what I know about you, right? You've got mortgage industry. You've got that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Real estate. Yeah.
Real estate. Sorry about, okay. So
I
got it.
the company they owned was a real estate company that
Brilliant.
and actually that's where I started as a productivity coach. I launched the productivity coaching program at my company, and I served all new associates and mega agents as they were looking to go to the next level. But from there, it brought into, could you do this vertical? Could you do that? Could you work with this? And so then I got really broad.
So come back to the specific here, at least for now. So real estate, you've got a ton of street cred there, a ton of experience. I love that for you. I think you were in gaming at least for a little bit, right? From what so it's like maybe not, based on how you feel about that industry, but it sounds cheesy, but it's true. The more specific, the more terrific. So I would just go all in on, I serve leaders, and it's like right now, you just need to be very specific and very clear on who you serve. So it could even be, like I serve real estate branch manager the right term for real estate broker? I serve real estate brokers in helping them up-level communications and leadership, like whatever it would be, but pick a very specific audience and avatar for now to work with. And then I love the specificity of DISC as well. Again, like the more specific, but focus on what's the end benefit that you're going to get them. And then I would be all about building your brand and getting your name out there as quickly as possible. So even something like this, Donna, like if you like, this is such an easy lift. I don't like complicated right now in my marketing or life. I just don't, too much going on, family, life, all of that. And so like, this was like hey, on Tuesday, we're putting out an email and a couple of social posts, and I'm going to send a couple of direct invites to people in my network. And I'm just going to come and be of service and see how I can help people. You could do something like this. It's like frictionless, right? But I would start consistently showing up, hosting live trainings, meetings, webinars, direct invites to your network. I'd be posting on social every day, inviting people to a call with you. And that's what I would do. It's like get known in that specific market for solving a specific problem, offer your expertise freely like this, invite people to a call with you. And I think very quickly, you'll experience a shift and a good enrollment of clients. So how does all of that feel? Good.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. You're welcome. You're welcome. By the way, for those of you who are joining us now, so good to have you. Welcome, everyone. Oh, Rita's in the house. Oh my gosh. I love you. It's so fun. Like some people I don't know, some people I know from way back, and just so much love for all of you. If you would like to receive coaching, raise your hand and get in line. I'm here to literally just support and coach around whatever you need support around. And Laura, if you want to jump in and add something into the coaching, just raise your hand too. You're a wealth of information and knowledge. So I want to make sure that if you do want to add something in to anyone, just raise your hand. So I'm going to keep going in the order that I see everyone who has their hand raised. Christine, so good to see you here. Have you go?
Oh, there I go. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
I am great. So I'm one of Elisa's current clients, so she knows my background somewhat. I dropped this in the chat, but for everyone who doesn't, I am in the process of starting my own civil engineering firm, which is super exciting. And my dog's coming to join the conversation. So I wanted to get your perspective, Elise, on bending space and time to allow me as quickly as possible.
Mhm.
I'm up against a client deadline of June 30th, like we've talked about, and I have all of the pieces in place to start rolling into applications and board registrations, pre-certifications, all of the stuff that I need within the market to be up and running.
Mhm.
But I don't control the outcome.
Mhm.
So the question is twofold. How do I most magnetize the result I want to me in terms of the time frame that I want, but how do I also stay like how do I stay free of the impact of it? Like if it doesn't come to fruition, how do
Mhm.
I, how do I make myself feel like it doesn't matter when I want it so badly?
Okay, sure. And so June 30th, is that right? And
Yes.
what's
So
the, give me, because I feel like I know a little bit, like what's this, isn't this the deadline to get like a grant or
it
something?
is,
What's the specific deadline with this?
it's the deadline to submit a proposal
Okay.
to the client that would be my primary clients for a 3-year on-call agreement. And so
Okay.
basically, on-call contract means they can call me up at any point and say, we need your services for this project, that project, what have you. And
Mhm.
it's basically what I would call like a license to hunt, to go out to the client, to their various locations and ask for work, ask for assignments.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I would have to become a sub consultant to another firm, which just
Okay.
doesn't leave me in as much control of my destiny as I would like to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so the specific question, because you said, how do I bend space and time, but then also how do I stay non-attached? So what is
Yeah, not
the,
attached. That's the term.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I was thinking back to Gina DeVee and like,
Mhm.
how do I just make this work for me and the time constraint that I have? Because I have to go through the Secretary of State to get registered as a business, which I know will not take very long. But I
Mhm.
also need to go through the what's called the North Carolina Board of Engineers and Surveyors, and
Okay.
they need to approve me as a firm. Then I have to go to the client and get approved for, like, they have to recognize that I'm capable of providing the work that I want to provide, which is called
Mhm.
pre-qualification. So there are just all these different steps along the way. And there's some other pieces that will go along with that, but those are the primary ones in order to propose and be selected for this contract.
Okay. Got it. So the biggest thing in terms of bending space and time is staying present. It's staying present. So you have energy allotment every day for 24 hours.
Mhm.
Like your blood cycles every 24 hours in your body, right? For a reason, because it's about what's today about.
Okay.
And so it's so easy for all of us to get into overwhelm when we start future tripping and when we start going into, oh my gosh, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And some of it's dependent on other people and what's going to happen. And so you're going to go into spin with that and you're going to be out of your power.
Okay.
And so the way that you bend space and time is by being very present to what is today about specifically. What is today about? Um, Future tripping is going to take you right out of your power. It's going to get you in victim mode. It's going to get you in disempowered energy. And that's not what you're looking to do here,
No.
right? So it's like daily, your daily mindset work is reconnecting with the vision, seeing
Mhm.
yourself
Mm.
as the CEO of the firm, because we talked on the
Mhm.
call this week too about just the identity shift process and doing that. So this is going to really help you with that. So daily tapping into like the day in the life of me as the CEO of my firm. Like, how does that feel? How does it
Feels
feel? Let me just ask you. Go ahead.
it feels so amazing. I was telling my
Mhm.
husband the other night, like I can actually feel it now that
Mm.
that all of this guesswork has gone. I've gone through that process. I've vetted the possibilities, like you had recommended, go down the worst case scenario one time, did it and
Mhm.
decided, hey, worst case, I can still survive it. So like it's so real. I know it's happening and I want it to happen on my terms by this date. That's
Okay.
where I think hanging myself up. I know
Yeah.
ultimately I can and will still be successful if it doesn't happen by then. But the ideal
Mhm.
scenario is, like I said, having control of my destiny, taking full control of the reins,
Mhm.
not be not being dependent upon someone else and another firm.
Sure. Sure.
Um, so
So So it's this delicate balance of intention and then trust and surrender in
Okay.
the outcome as well. Do you trust that you have been guided down this path because it is in service of your best and highest good and your calling of where you want to go? Can you at least trust that part?
Yes.
Okay. So when the way that we always approach the goal, it's always this or something better, this or
Mhm.
something better, this or something better. And so the only reason, Christine, this wouldn't work the way that you're seeing it right now is
Mm.
because there's actually something that's going to be even better for you. And
Okay.
that's actually by law. So I would take a big breath and relax. Okay. Your only job right now is to follow those breadcrumbs and do your part in terms of next steps. So
Okay.
you're clear on the next steps, right? I
Mhm.
would, to get you out of overwhelm, I would make a list. I'd be like, these are the things that need to happen. But then what is today about? What is today about? What is today about? You don't need to do all those things today,
And
right?
so when I'm identifying what today is about, is it in relation to those specific tasks? Is that
Mhm.
how I decide the day? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's like there for each of us, right? There's 500 things we could do today towards our goal or towards what we want to do. That's not productive. That's a way that we actually let ourselves off the hook is by being like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm so busy, I can't prioritize, I'm not clear. So I want you to get in real like empowered CEO energy
Okay.
around this for yourself. And it's like right now, today, what's the next thing I could do that would move the needle? From
Okay.
a feminine standpoint, you can look at what feels lightest. Let me look at this list and see what feels lightest.
Okay.
Okay. Use your calendar as your friend to help support, not to stifle you. So for your calendar, block out, like I would, if you've, sometimes it's helpful. I did this a while back, like just brain dump all the things, get the whole list out on paper. And then we just look at, all right, let me just prioritize. Let me sit down, put on my CEO hat. I'm going to prioritize it. I'm going to time block this for this, this for this. And then when you kind of, you also reassess when it's that time, like if there's something else that's come up that's more pertinent, you do that then. But you're just very present in the moment. What is right now about? Okay. And I would read, I can't remember if I recommended this for you or for somebody else, but The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer, highly, highly, highly would recommend to you to help
Okay.
you just be in the energy of kind of trust and flow with the greater powers that be as you co-create this, that it's not you that has to do all the heavy lifting. You don't have to force and push the outcome. You're co-creating. All right. So you're being guided. You're going to take the next steps, do your part. And then you're also going to be very open to, if it's this, that's great. And if something else happens that's unexpected, it's going to be even better for me. And I'm open to that. That's how we stay non-attached.
Yeah.
Does that help?
It helps and it feels good. Like
Good.
that knowledge feels good to move
Good.
forward with. So thank you. Yes,
Good.
very
You're
much.
welcome. You're welcome. That's your body's way of telling you that's truth for you. So really good. I think Laura had something she wanted to add for you. Laura, do you want to come off mute?
I just, Christina, I see your energy right now, and I see you anchored in with the vision of it, and just trust that. Really trust that.
Yeah.
And I like what Elise shared as well, is what affirmations you have around that to support you. You know,
Mm.
are you recording them? That's something that I like to do as well. Do you have like a timer where you're listening to them, you know, and staying in that energy? And so I just wanted to share your energy is like so good right now. I'm so excited for you with this, and you got this. Just
Thanks.
trust that.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. We're so excited for you, Christine. Okay, let's see who we've got next. Lindsay, so good to have you. Everyone, Lindsay is, if I can just introduce you, Lindsay's our newest member of the 10K Club. So you all will be seeing her on some calls coming up. We're so glad to have you. So welcome. You want to introduce yourself, who you are, where you're coming in from, and then whatever your question is for today.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited about this. So I am located just outside of New York City for the next couple months. I'll be moving back to San Diego after that. And I work for the Ken Blanchard companies. We just rebranded to Blanchard this week. And my role there is a director of client solutions for their Northeast region for their enterprise accounts. And I'm running into, so our solution overall is leadership development solutions for executives, top managers. We put together programs for them, and I'm running into several scenarios like this one, and I'm not sure how to deal with them. So the scenario goes, and I'll use this very exact specific account. I can honestly like carbon copy these.
Okay.
The relationships are really good. I feel very blessed in this role. It's really good relationships with the accounts. They've been existing for some time since I started with the company 10 months ago, and spoke with our primary contact there. He has 6 general managers that are going to be at an event June 20th. So we're a month out now. They have never had any training for these 6. It's always been either above or below. And he took us through what their needs were. I brought in several executives from our side, and we put together a 9-month program for the 6 executives. We presented it to Justin, and he loved it. He even gave us the exact budget on what they were willing to spend. He has said to us, there's no competition. It's Blanchard or nothing at this point. And he has been a big fan of Blanchard, that he's like, I don't even like getting into the weeds with it. So he's given us really great advice on how to handle the pitch with the higher up executives that actually make the decision, are the ones to make the decision. So we had a meeting about a month ago scheduled, and on the day of the meeting, he canceled it. He said his daughter got sick and he had to leave for work. So, wrote him, said, I'm so sorry to hear that. Absolutely, fully understand. Sure. Wrote him a couple days later, hadn't heard from him, just to check in, say, I hope everything's okay. I hope your daughter's okay. So, let us know, because there's now about 6 to 8 people that we're trying to coordinate schedules to get on for this proposal. And said, let me know when you'd like to start working on rescheduling this. I know we've got a lot to navigate here. Didn't hear from him. A couple of weeks went by as I was continuing to write him. Didn't hear from him. So I finally wrote him kind of a come to Jesus, heart to heart, and said, I really don't want to be a bother to you. I don't want to be a pest. I really am looking for your advice on how the best way is to follow up with you or not at this point. And I understand priorities can change, things can change. Like, we're totally good. So you let me know where you're at. And I immediately heard back from him. And the message that he sent from that is that, hello, Lindsay, you're never a pest. I love hearing from you. Honestly, I have no clue what's going on. My director and I both submitted the request and I've heard nothing back with approval. I will try to get a solid answer in my one-on-one tomorrow. This was now over a week ago. So again, I haven't heard from him and I've sent those messages. And I'm running into this so consistently, not that the child gets sick and it gets canceled, but it gets canceled right before the big pitch. And it's like, it's a hard angle to go in, even though I have the name of the top director that we would be meeting with. It's like, it still is this grace of going through our contact, but they just start to shut down. And it's like, oh, I'm just like, what? I'm not sure how to best follow up at that point then.
Okay. So are you open to some mindset / subconscious programming work to help you start to circumnavigate this moving forward, in addition to some specifics?
Yeah, absolutely.
For here. Okay. I know we're just starting to work together. So I want to check it, like how open you are to that. And okay. Got it. And then Laura, I would also say, because I know you navigate a fair number of complex deals, if you want to jump in on this too and share some thoughts, because I know you've done a fair amount there too. Okay. So from a your mind creates your reality standpoint, if this is happening consistently, and I know it may not just be for you, Lindsay, is this like a company-wide type of thing? Like everyone experiences this, or is this
maybe not in the exact same situation. So that could definitely be something from the mindset, but it's not what I tend to see from all of the DCSs in this role at this level. It's not, it isn't a huge high priority item, even though we believe it should be, right? It's like, this should never take a backseat. Like, this is so important. This is your people. But especially right now with the economy kind of in this like questionable flow that's happening, we're noticing that companies are kind of pausing even more than they normally do, because if something's going to get cut, it usually comes from their L&D department.
Okay. So it ties in so perfectly with kind of the message at the beginning, right? Which is, I am a firm believer that we create our own economy, we create our own results. And so like, the way that I operate is I don't really care what's going on in the economy. I don't care what's going on for other people right now. I care about my vision and I stay focused on that. And I keep creating that first in my mind as my reality. And then I am given the right steps to actually transform that into my reality in business and in life. And so one of the beautiful things about you being in 10K is like, you're going to get all of the subconscious reprogramming work. And I know it sounds like you've got some kind of background in that too, with your wellness background from our conversation. So I think you will feel like you have a lot more tools to start using in terms of actually creating energetically from your mind and your spirit first. But I would, from a mindset and energy standpoint, I would be daily like seeing myself in those meetings, having incredible conversations. I would be visualizing it. I would be seeing myself presenting to everyone. We want to be careful with sales. We don't want to be attached to who becomes our customer. So if it feels good to visualize them in there with you, I would be in the energy of like this or something better. We never want to be attached to so-and-so has to be my client. That's how we make client source, and we put way too much pressure on it. And so I would be I'd be very open to this or something better, but I would see myself in that meeting. I would feel what it feels like to be getting yeses. I would see everyone coming together. I would see the quick decision. And I promise you, if you do that consistently and daily, whether it's with this account or with future ones, you will see that pattern shift. Because right now that's a patterning that you've been experiencing based on past thoughts, feelings, beliefs, behaviors. So you will start to see that shift in terms of your results. You may need to give it a little bit of time. Laura, do you want to, I've got some ideas on strategy, but Laura, I want to open up to you and then I can jump in with additional thoughts there. So go ahead.
Yeah, Lindsay, I was just curious, was there a lot of pressure around this for you with the sales piece? A lot of pressure, a lot of anxiety with this around the sales?
Not really. Like I've already I'm far past my Q2 goal, my Q1 and Q2 goal. I'm almost 200,000 over. So I'm certainly not getting any pressure from the company. Like they're super happy with where the numbers are, where the results are. I think it's just maybe if there's pressure, it's like my own, because I know Elise and I have talked and I'm like, where they expect me to be, I want to be at least double that. Okay. And so I think that's what I'm working towards, that even though in my mind, I'm like, I know I'm far ahead of my target, but right now, it would be about 600,000 and my goal is 3 million. So I'm like, I keep seeing that total number of like, I'm behind from where I want to be able to get to that.
Yeah, I relate to that a lot. So it's like you have your own goal in mind that you're going after. And so, I always try to be in that energy of it's really just allowing and receiving clients to come and not pushing. And I get it. Like maybe I was taught to follow up like constantly, maybe a system that I've had in place. And so, one of the things that I did is I had to kind of take a step back energetically. If I feel like I'm pushing a client or feel like it's like a higher energy, I like to talk more energy, but really to take a step back. And the thing that's really helped me a lot and I love, the mind work and the affirmations. First of all, it's the feeling of just allowing yourself to surrender and just be, and not feel the need to really push, because it's going to push things away. You have the energy of pushing it away. And so really just being in that energy of receiving, good things from clients. And one of the things I love affirmations around, is I see the highest and good in all people, and I now attract the highest and good in all people. And seriously, like every time I get on a call, or I'm with, like a client, that's the energy that I'm coming out with, is that the highest and good in all people. Because, again, we don't know what's really happening behind the scenes with a lot of our clients, and really just knowing that, that if they're meant to be our clients, it's going to happen. And always
Laura,
seeing
didn't-
the highest. Good, yeah.
Sorry to jump in. Didn't you make like over 6 figures recently in commission from this mindset? I want to just give, like, this isn't like woo woo airy fairy. This is like literally
really is.
energetically,
Yeah.
like you will make way more money. Yeah. So I don't want to like totally circumvent what you're saying. We'll have to kind of be brief here to wrap it up, Laura. But yeah, I love that. Was there anything else you were going to add in?
Yeah,
Or
no, that
Lindsay?
was it. Yep.
Amazing. Yeah. So spoken from a woman who recently made like a 6-figure commission check from this mindset in a very hustle push force industry. Just to give you a little bit of context, but I think, Lindsay, we'll work with you way more on this in the 10K club. There's so much conditioning in corporate around masculine energy. And Mitchell, no disrespect, my friend. Like
None taken.
I'm so glad you're here.
I love it. I'm
You get to be
enjoying
like-
every word.
You get to be behind the scenes of some of the She Sells conversations here.
You women don't have a corner on, ideas and stress and all that stuff. So it's, so there's nothing that I haven't agreed with everybody on, by the way.
I love
Elise,
it.
so,
I love it.
I'll be
I
quiet.
know we love having you here. So,
all right.
so with that, there is so much conditioning around constant chase, push, follow up. I am a huge proponent of follow up. I am a proponent of, I call it like a ball in your court message, kind of like you sent to him, where it was like, let's just lay it all out on the line, and kind of that release and surrender type of vibe. I would really be in the belief system, and I'll start to help you really ingrain this, of like, my clients chase me, opportunities chase me. The more that we lean into that type of energy, especially as women, because we're actually naturally programmed to receive, you will start to find that dynamic shifts. And whether it's this client or a different one, or someone who comes out of nowhere unexpectedly, when you actually believe that your clients chase you, you'll start to have that experience. And that's neuroscience. It's not airy fairy stuff. So I want to help you shift into that belief system. I would be in that non-attached energy of like, okay, I'm going to kind of think like a project manager here, and I'm going to follow up. If you feel like you're chasing and it starts to feel like you're disempowered, I would not follow up from that energy. But I would just have some sort of a consistent touch point, because you never know. Like, you never know when something's going to shift, right, on somebody's end. But I would, whether it's like every 2 weeks, every 30 days, whatever is appropriate there, I would just probably ping them, because that's, again, you never know. But I think the biggest thing that's going to shift for you is if we start to get you in the energy and the mode of my clients chase me, opportunities chase me, money chases me, you'll see that dynamic shift. I think you handled it well from a tactical standpoint, and you layer it on top of this belief system and foundation, and you'll see a shift. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate
Awesome. You're so welcome. We've got 2 minutes. Kelly, I see your hand is raised. Give one moment here. I want to just share, for those of you who hopped in a little bit late, again, we're so glad to have all of you. And I saw some comments in the chat too about some of you are driving, some of you can't be on camera. We love having you here. Come as you are. Like, we are thrilled that you are here. And I want to just say too, before we wrap, there's nothing for sale here. We just wanted to be of service and open this up to the community. If the only thing we will offer is if you desire to speak to me or a member of our team, explore how we can support you in group or private coaching or something else, you can go to elisearcher.com/free call. I'll type it in the chat, and you're welcome to fill out a form there and schedule yourself for a call with our team. And it's literally, we just chat with you and see what's going on and see how we can help support you. Gosh, Kelly, we got 1 minute. I'm wondering if I can work with you on a 10K call about it, or if you want to pop it in the 10K Facebook group, or tell me, was there something quick, or was there something, is it a little bit more in depth?
Well, I actually was going to ask if either you or Laura would have like 2 minutes after this, or like at some point today, because I am working on some changes in my life, and it's a little bit time sensitive. Like, I got some news last night, and I need to like make something happen today. So
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, no problem. I'll shoot you a text.
Okay.
Okay,
Perfect.
I got you. Yeah, I'll shoot you a text. All right, amazing. Thank you so much to everyone for being here today. Let us know if you liked this. Like I had so much fun. I love getting to meet some new faces, see some old familiar faces, and then see some of our clients as well. So if you enjoyed this, if you want us to do this again, let us know. Thank you so, so much, everyone, for being here today. So much love to you. Thank you, Laura, for your expert co-facilitation. Grateful for you. And yeah, thank you again. We will see all of you very soon. Have a beautiful rest of your Friday. Bye-bye.